LeBron tweeted that seeing Jordan holding his first trophy had him tearing up. So, Shannon, do you like what LeBron tweeted?
I love it because it's relatable to LeBron. LeBron, for the longest, Skip, you remember before Michael finally broke through and won the title, he had won MVP. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He was dunk champion. He was an MVP and considered by many to be the best player in the NBA, although he hadn't won a title. And they're like, yeah, he's great, but, yeah, he's unbelievable. He's rarefied, but. And so finally breaking through, getting past the bad boy Pistons, finally winning that title in 91, it was like, okay, now I have the validation. Magic and Bird can't say, yeah, I've got MVPs. Jordan has MVPs like myself and Magic, but where's the titles? Where's the finals MVP? Now he has that. LeBron might have had a little tougher road than Jordan, excuse me, guys, because Skip, coming straight from college, coming straight from the high school, going straight to the NBA, there were even greater expectations because they're like, this is a phenomenon. This is a once-in-a-lifetime player. We've never seen anything like him. And we saw this kid from a 17-year-old on the cover of Sports Illustrated, going straight to the NBA, going to his hometown team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the expectations were normal. The failure after failure, being thought of as the best player, but not winning the title. And when you finally win that title, the emotions start flooding out of you because you're like, whew. Skip, you remember he got on stage after, and they asked him what he felt, and he said, it's about damn time. Basically, that's what Michael felt when he had that trophy in his hands and he's looking at it. Now I know the joy and the adulation that Magic felt, that Larry felt, and so many greats before me felt like to finally get over that hump. You know, Skip, when I go back to the Hall of Fame, there are, probably 100 of us, 150 maybe come back every single year. But the guy that's most relatable to me that's around my age is Johnny Randall. Because Johnny Randall grew up in a very similar situation. No indoor plumbing, having to take tub baths, he slept with two other brothers in a bed. I slept with my grandmother. So he and I's stories can relate. It's not a coincidence that he was an undrafted free agent. I was a seventh round draft pick. We came out in the same year, went to the same place, Canton, Ohio. So the situation when we talk, I understand what he's talking about. He understands what I'm talking about. In this situation here, Skip, LeBron can clearly understand the emotions that Mike felt after winning that first title. I have no problem whatsoever because normally the man that's walked a mile in shoes knows what another man that's walking a similar mile feels like.
I hope you're finished, at least for a while, because I'm about to unleash on this tweet from LeBron James. The nerve of LeBron James, and I should have known this was coming. He somehow had to make the Last Dance documentary about him, and it's not about him. He somehow had to try to insinuate himself into the emotions that Michael Jordan was feeling when he held his first finals trophy, and it's not even remotely close. The 10 fire emojis that indicate what LeBron had to battle through to get to his first trophy had absolutely nothing to do with what Michael Jeffrey Jordan had to battle through to get to his first trophy. He had to battle through Larry Bird's Celtics and the original bad boy Pistons, who had to invent a set of rules to stop him that became the title of Sam Smith's book about Jordan's first run to his first title, The Jordan Rules. And that finals, Michael had to get through Magic Johnson's Lakers to get to the point that we look back at the documentary and Larry Bird, after those 2 games at Boston Garden, said it's God disguised as Michael Jordan. Nobody ever said that through LeBron's struggles that it's God disguised as LeBron James. Nobody said that. And Sunday night, we got to hear John Sally say, the great John Sally of the Bad Boy Pistons, say about LeBron that the Jordan rules were designed to stop him because he isn't human. He isn't human. And I'm so happy that generations of kids are getting to see these highlights and getting to see behind the scenes of just how great the greatest player ever to play any sport truly was, on camera and off camera. And the point is, how dare LeBron compare his struggles to Michael's? When you look back at LeBron's struggles, they're just pockmarked with epic fails. That first finals, LeBron had been in the league for 4 years, and he comes up against a team that you have told me from the start is broccoli. It's boring, it's overrated, that Tony Parker and especially Manu Ginobili are overrated, says the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. So it was Tim Duncan versus LeBron James. And LeBron was pretty miserable in those 4 games because they got swept, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And LeBron averaged, that was his first finals, 22, 7, and 7. But from the field, he shot 36% in those 4 games. LeBron has been a 50% field goal shooter from the field on 2-point shots and 3-point shots. 50% he's made. He shot 36% in his first finals. And he shot 20% from 3 in his first finals. And then he segued right into that series against the Orlando Magic when he was proclaimed for hitting the greatest shot in the history of the world, the shot heard around the world against Orlando in Game 2 to save the day, save the series, 1-1 going to Orlando. And what happened? Instead of meeting Kobe in the finals, as we all hoped would happen, that we all expected would happen, he lost to the Orlando Magic in 6 games. And in the closeout game, Game 6, to try to get back to a Game 7 in his house back in Cleveland, LeBron was pretty lousy. He was a minus 12. He shot 8 for 20 from the field, which segued right into the next year, the Celtics series, his last go-round, the first time in Cleveland. They went 61-21 in the regular season. That's pretty great. And yet, in games 4, 5, and 6 against the Celtics, LeBron had his first epic fail in which he shrank, he disappeared in ways Michael Jordan never dreamed or nightmared of doing in a big playoff series. LeBron James was accused of quitting by his owner, and he was, according to a member of his inner circle, that he had to be sedated before games 4, 5, and 6 because he was having an issue with his teammate. No, it was just an epic failure. The first time we saw the chosen one become the frozen one, and right away the next year in his second finals, right on schedule, it happened again in games 4, 5, and 6. LeBron just disappeared. He froze up. Michael never froze up. Nobody ever said, gee, Michael quit in that series or Michael disappeared. He never disappeared. He was trying to fight through Larry Bird and the Bad Boys and Magic Johnson to get to that moment when he's hugging the trophy. And I'm sorry, you can't do that, LeBron. You can't say it's unexplainable what I was feeling. No, it's totally explainable. You failed and failed and failed, and it was your fault. And you didn't have the kind of competition that Michael Jordan had to fight through. So what are you doing? Once again, you're going egomaniacal, delusional. You're trying to say, hey, everybody, remember me? I'm LeBron James, and I belong in the same sentence or the same tweet with Michael Jordan. No, you don't. Why don't you just give it a rest, LeBron, and back off and let him have his moment because he earned his moments. He deserved these moments that you're getting to watch.
Well, first of all, Skip Bayless, if you look at the emojis memes, you know what it feels like when you've been through the fire. Skip, you just validated everything LeBron said. From the loss to the Spurs when he played bad to when he couldn't get past the Magic, losing to the Cavaliers, and it was reported, you've been reported, and others have said he had to be sedated, being accused of quitting, losing his first finals in Miami. Those are struggles. What you're trying to do, or you're trying to parse. Skip, you're trying to say, well, if you get hit by a Mack truck and someone else get hit by a dump truck going 50 miles an hour, well, mine hurt worse. No, it does not. Struggles are struggles. You're trying to say it's all relative, Skip. Those were the power teams in the 80s that he had to get through, Skip. It does not matter what they call you. I can assure you, when Tom Brady threw for 505, there were some guys on the Philly side thinking, that's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. But guess what? He caught that L. The very same thing that Michael Jordan was regular season MVP, he was slam dunk champ, defensive player of the year, caught an L in the second round. Struggles, Skip, struggle is a relative term. I can't say just because I grew up like I grew up and somebody else grew up a little different that my struggles are different. A struggle is a struggle. What you're trying to do is parse it and say, well, LeBron James, what you went through that was self-inflicted. What Michael went through was self-inflicted because he wouldn't pass the ball. Remember? Did you watch this?
Stop it.
The thing that he's... Oh, no, ain't no stop it. I'm just getting started. Woke up great. Had 2 pots of coffee, Jenny. You know what, Skip Bayless? They told me Voltaire drank 50 cups of coffee a day. I don't know if that's true. I don't even drink coffee, but I'm saying I feel good, Skip Bayless, because I was hoping this subject would would broach itself, and lo and behold, it lands in my lap on a silver platter. I need you to stop trying to parse what LeBron went through. Oh, LeBron, it was self-inflicted. So was Michael, because he wouldn't pass the ball. And the Jordan rules were simple, Skip Bayless. A right-handed player that's dominant, keep him from the right side, keep the ball in his left hand, and push him left. So we're always going to push him towards his less dominant hand because you know what? He's not the passer that LeBron is. You don't have to worry about it because, see, you push him left, what's he going to do? He's not ambidextrous like LeBron. He's not looking to pass the ball because that's not what his forte is. So that's what the Jordan rules was. Yes, it was also to hammer him, kind of like what the New England Patriots did to the Buffalo Bills in 90 and also replicated that in 2001. Punish the receivers. When they catch it, make them pay a price. Get physical with them out the line of scrimmage and knock the crap out of their quarterback. Skip, that's not rules. That's fundamentally, that's sound physical football. Well, that's what the Jordan rules was. Jordan was a right-handed player. He was right-handed dominant. So keep him off the right side of the court, push him left, push him to his less dominant hand, and let's go from there. Skip, the struggles that LeBron went through, you validated because you listed all the things that happened to him. And so all those things that happened to him, guess what ultimately happened, Skip? He got to hold the trophy. And so finally, after everything Skip Bayless has said and what the owner said that I quit, and not being able to get past the Celtics, and melting down in 2011, and not being able to get past the Magic and falling to the Spurs, all of that is a struggle, Skip. You have sometimes, Skip, the destination. There's a journey to get to that destination, and sometimes it's pitted with pitfalls. But when you go through that, you have a greater appreciation for what you accomplished. Skip, I have the utmost respect for athletes and guys that go through hardship and ultimately get an opportunity to play and protect, regardless if it's sports. It can be if you're a lawyer or a doctor, whatever you've overcome, the adversity, you have a great appreciation for someone that's done that. Shouldn't LeBron, after going through what he went through, kind of like Michael, have a great appreciation and says, guys, I know what that feels like. Skip, Tiger Woods reached out to Michael Jordan, the only guy in the world that could possibly know what he was about to go through. Why would he do that, Skip? Why? Only somebody that's gone through it could possibly know what the other's feeling. LeBron went through it.
I will definitely
so he
give
knew
you
what Michael was
Tiger
feeling.
and Michael. Yeah, I get that. Quick point of order about ambidexterity. I once witnessed Michael Jeffrey Jordan shooting free throws for money, and on the last one, he shot it left-handed with a towel wrapped around his eyes, blindfolded, left-handed blindfolded. I witnessed this, and he swished it for all the money. And I'm not sure how much was on the table, but I'm sure it was in the thousands, and that was in 1998. Probably. Dollar was obviously, that was a lot of money in 1998. And I would suggest to you that shooting free throws for money, that Michael's probably a better free throw shooter left-handed than LeBron is right-handed. That's just me, speaking of ambidexterity. Now, back to my point. In the struggles that Michael went through, there was no shame. Not once did he say, or anybody say, boy, he had a bad game. He had an off series. He quit. He shrank. He this or it. No, nobody ever said that. And yet, LeBron's struggles were all shameful to me, that they were all epic fails. So you can't compare the two struggles at all. It's not about you and John Randall. No, it's LeBron trying to say, I know what that feels. No, you don't know what that feels like, because Michael was fighting Larry Bird and the Bad Boys and Magic Johnson. LeBron, when you finally broke through, you got to play the finals with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh against the baby Thunder. And they had three young players who were going to get very good, but they weren't very good yet. And Kevin Durant did not play well in that series. And Russell Westbrook often disappeared in that series. And James Harden has yet to be found in that series in the 2012 finals. And yet, we talked about it yesterday. LeBron did have a lot of help from his teammates, because in the turnaround game 2, after the Heat lost game 1, Shane Battier made 5 threes in that game. And remember game 4, the Mario Chalmers game? Mario Chalmers scored 12 in the fourth quarter, just took it over and held off the baby Thunder. And then what happened in the closeout game 5? Mike Miller made 7 of 8 three-point shots. We talked about John Paxson in game 5 of the 91 finals, 5 games over the Lakers. John Paxson didn't make a single three. He did make 9 field goals, and he made 7 jump shots, but they were 2-point jump shots. They weren't 3-point daggers like Mike Miller shot 7 of those in game 5. And by the way, in LeBron's first victory, let me finish. No, LeBron James shot in that series against the baby Thunder. He was 3 of 16 from 3. That is 19%. That's not very good. So while the Spurs were saying, dare him to shoot, get off him, just dare him to shoot, the baby Thunder just sort of let him shoot, and he couldn't shoot anyway. So the point is, this you should be bragging about. This you understand what Michael's going. No, you don't. Stop it.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.